Yeah, sometimes I question this life and how I'm living it. You make music, then wonder if people feeling it. Do people really listen when you pour your soul in this craft? What you write makes it so whole, and I hope I will never lose mine.
Sure. My name is Abraham Padilla, also known as Savage Mind. I'm a rapper, producer, audio engineer, and jazz musician based in the Bay Area. I was born in the Philippines. I was raised in Pittsburgh, California, but I'm out here in Oakland now. I'm a barista as a part-time job, so I'm a lead barista. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on music, whether it's running my label or working on raps, instrumentals, lyrics, songwriting, beats, playing the piano, jamming with other folks, all of the above. I started off playing percussion, which was really fun. I started off with the wood block. And it's funny because I remember those moments so vividly, just like learning the specific rhythm that I was studying. It was something like, and it just always stuck with me. And from there, I started playing around with my mom's old keyboard. I played jazz drums my 6th grade year, got into beginning band playing trumpet, started jamming on the piano, also in beginning band, and ended up playing piano and trumpet 7th grade and 8th grade, taught myself piano, dabbled with guitar, and it kind of just kept going ever since. I didn't start rapping until I was about 17, my senior year of high school. Me and my close homie, he goes by Ted the Fisher, we used to have our Freestyle Wednesdays. We would be in the band room because he was in band too, and we would lock ourselves in the practice rooms and just like spit over some instrumentals that he got from a ripped MP3 or CD or whatever we could get our hands of. I started learning how to produce by the time I was in college, and then playing around with instrumentals. But by then I was already songwriting. I started songwriting in middle school, coming up with like chord progressions and ideas, and then it all just kind of added up to where I am now, where I eventually took all these skills, took all these years of just practice and working on things, and then eventually becoming who I am now. So this is how it sounds right now. Sounds pretty cool. What brought me into rap was the idea that you could tell stories and express these emotions that I heard from rappers that I wasn't able to sort of fully express through jazz. I was playing in jazz groups and small like jazz combos. There's a program at Cal called UC Jazz. So I was able to play in big bands and small combos and really had fun like that. But I think what really drew me to rap was that I could say shit.
Yeah, I say I'm neck deep in the game, so I'm barely breathing, barely scratching the surface, but I found my reason. I'm a top dog.
That's something that I wanted to go deeper into because, one, it was a culture that I was surrounded by and, a culture I grew with and learned to appreciate from its origins up until now. But it was also one of those things where jazz and hip-hop and funk and all these different kind of subgenres of jazz, has this rich history. And for rap, it was, rap is a very young child of that history. And for me, it was bringing it into the modern day. I felt like being a rapper, I would be able to tell my story, tell different narratives, and just express how I feel with words and not just, music and sounds. And that's not to say, I sort of discredit that, but it's more so that it just adds another layer and another depth of expression for myself that I felt like I was waiting for and something that kind of was meant to be. So what I like doing is like having a upbeat back end on the low end, on the quiet end, not low end, but on the more quieter side, and then on the up front, like have something a little bit more laid back, just so that you have like something like driving in the background, something like really trying to push it back, and those like two contrasts like really kick, which is dope. I feel like that's kind of my style. So 1995 is my debut large body of work album. I named it 1995 because, well, one, not only was I born in 1995, the year, but it was also significant for me because as sort of a debut album, it felt like here is a presentation, like here is the birth of Savage Mind. Well, first thing I did was this song is called ReflectRespondSavage, right? I made the song because at that time I had just watched a group called Reflect Respond Now, also known as R plus R equals Now. So I was really inspired and I wanted to make my first track, Reflect Respond Savage, an ode to that on top of my ode to my long history of jazz playing. And so it started off really with just a chord loop. I had played it on my piano and I added like a lot of reverb, so there's a lot of space. And then from there, I had the drums come in, and so the drums was actually a recording of my friend RJ. This one was just a placeholder. I'll show you the actual drums after. But at this time, this was just a placeholder so I could get a loop. But I wanted a real live drummer, someone I actually know to play it. And then I added my trumpet playing, just playing around with it. A saturator, added extra reverb. It's really vibey. And then I ended up using one of my favorite things. I have this preset from Massive, but it's this synth that is really fun to play. But I add some edited stuff, so it sounds very echoey. So So it's almost like video game-esque, but I really like that sound. And then I have this kick doubled as 808s. And then each other, pretty much I wrote out all the kicks that were also doubled as 808s. So they're bouncing. Then there's a hat loop. Oh, actually, all of this is just like in the background, right? But I eventually took it off because I wanted just like mostly the live drums. Yeah. So Soul Vision, well now Soul Vision Records, since we're an official record label. But we first started off as a band, and it started off as a very vague vision, pun intended. It was started in 2016 by me and my homie J-Rap, and we both got connected because we were in our undergrads. We were still navigating higher education, both being Filipino, and we were able to sort of bond through music, and we realized that we had sort of interests that were very similar. We were both into jazz. He played jazz in high school. I played jazz in high school. But he really loved rap and hip hop too. And I mean, he's a child of LA. So growing up in LA and being surrounded by that culture, it's gonna affect you. I want to tell my future self that I need to make sure that my mind is in the right track still. I think it's easy for artists and people to get caught up in the entirety of it, right? Whether it's money or fame, celebrity, access to the industry or whatnot, right? I think my biggest goal, and I'm seeing artists go that direction, but I also want to be part of that transformative process where I'm an independent artist growing and reaching out to larger masses, but I'm also reminding myself like I'm still a human, and that I'm doing music for the right reasons, that I'm doing music because I love it, that I'm doing music so I can share stories, tell my stories, and just have fun really, and let the music take me and just jam and have a good time and create and compose. Like there is a plethora and wealth of sort of ideas that can come out of music, and that's what I really want to tap into, and I want to make sure that my future self is still on that right track. So future self, make sure you're doing what you said you were gonna do, and make sure that you're not buying into that, like all the fake shit, all the sort of stuff that gets people caught up in things that distract from the larger picture. Because in reality, I want to do this till I die, and how can I do that when I'm not doing it for the right reasons, right? Or I get caught up doing something else. So it's a way to check myself.
Savage with the flow, like Savage on the beat. J-Rap, this name, you'll scream, hey.
These words, these lines, all mine, yeah.